Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from day 2 of the SALT conference in New York City. Joining me to kick off our coverage, we have Swan, Director of Mission Investments at the Ford Foundation. We're here to discuss inclusive investment practices and why it's possible to both do well as do good. Roy, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about inclusive investing. What is it and what are some of the barriers preventing more widespread adoption of?
Yeah, I think the barriers are primarily psychological. I think there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of, there's lack of awareness. And people automatically assume that you can't do well and do good. And the program at the Ford Foundation that I run was set up to create proof points that it's actually possible. We've been very successful at that thus far. Our first 5 years, we generated a 28% compound annual rate of return, plus lots of great positive social impact. So we're really excited about the possibilities, and the hardest part for us is not the investment part, it's the getting others to believe the world of the possible.
Well, let's talk about that. There are geographic disparities across regions, both within and across countries, as we know. How can these disputes or disparities be addressed, and what does this mean for inclusive investing?
Well, I think with so many other things in life, it's about inspiration. And so I've come up with the term I use called patriotic capitalism. And the reason why I use that term is because I want to get people excited about the idea of investing with a few things in mind. 1, country. 2, democracy. 3, national security. 4, financial returns. And 5, the common good. That's what the Ford Foundation is all about. That is what true patriotism is all about. It doesn't matter whether you're in America or in another country. It is about locking arms with others and viewing the realm of the possible as opposed to being distracted by what others think is impossible.
So are there particular sectors or types of hard assets that you're investing in that falls within the inclusive umbrella?
I love that question because we painstakingly honed in on what are some areas of impact that represent huge problems where we believe we can generate superior financial returns from an output perspective. So for example, in the US, affordable housing. Massive shortage of housing in the US. What does that mean? That means the supply-demand curve is working in your favor. The other thing is the US government provides support to encourage and incentivize financially through tax credits and through actual monetary subsidy. And when we get behind investment themes like that, we know we can make money. Here's the other thing. We have a $50 trillion problem in the US, in America. We have lost $50 trillion in GDP because of racial bias that's keeping people of color outside our capitalist system. There's also massive opportunities there, so we're going long on that sector.
And perfect segue for my next question, in what ways can technology enhance the reach and effectiveness of inclusive investing as well as providing opportunities for people who are underrepresented?
Yeah, so for us, we look at technology and the outstanding and just wonderful advances of AI, artificial intelligence, and what we decided to do was invest with a company called Anthropic because we really like Anthropic's approach to technology for good. And we look forward to harnessing these tools to help figure out how do you unleash untapped value, how do you address biases that are holding us all back with ball and chain. So couldn't be more excited about the opportunities ahead.
What can we do to promote a broader understanding and adoption of inclusive investing so it's more of the mainstream?
Yeah, well again, I go back to my patriotic capitalism theme. Charlie Munger once said in a class I was in, when you want to get someone to do something they might not ordinarily do, appeal to their sense of greatness. We have a great opportunity in America, and it all starts with tearing down the barriers that are keeping us apart, bringing us together and working together to create a stronger, more powerful economy where our national security is stronger, jobs are created, and we can maintain the mantle of leadership for the world.
I think we're at an inflection point now too, where thinking in those terms is critical as well.
I won't stop unless I have to.
Right. All right, Roy, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade
Thank
Talks.
you.
And thanks for joining me from SALT. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.